Hello, true believers. Another day, another vlog, another police involved murder. And this time, usually when I do these vlogs, the police are on the giving end. Now, what we have a report that came out yesterday, I think, was this time the police are on the receiving end this time. So we'll go to the video and then I'll give you my thoughts and analysis on the subject based on what I know, my firsthand knowledge and my firsthand experience. So if you look over here, it says police killed in Capas, Tarlac. So let's take a look. Let's go to the video and here's how the incident went down. So let's take a look.
Nag-overtake ang itim na kotse sa isa pang kotse sa Barangay Cristo Rey sa Capas, Tarlac.
So if you look over here, the police's car was overtaken by another car here in Tarlac.
Alas 7 ng umaga kanina.
So yesterday, 7 o'clock in the morning, on his way to work, the police is on his way to work. He is part of like the aviation security.
Ba ang gunman na nasa likuran at pinaputukan ang inunahang kotse.
So as you can see, two gunmen came out of the car after they blocked him. And you got one with a handgun, and then you got one with an automatic assault rifle. So check that out. And as you can see, this person's got his face mask on, but he's got it lowered. So you can kind of get an idea. At least you got his build, and he's wearing a hat, so it's still hard to determine. So the first guy took a shot with his handgun, but this guy definitely with the automatic assault rifle over here definitely finished the job. If it wasn't already finished, we would never know.
At niratrat ang sasakyan. Hindi pa nakontento. Muling nagpaputok ang mga salarin tsaka humarurot.
Nag-overtake pa yung sasakyan ng mga suspects. At talagang sinagurado nila, no?
So they're just saying over here that for sure that they overtook him and they made sure that he was dead.
Kinilala ang biktima na si Police Staff Sergeant Mike Maon, dating pulis sa Capas, na naka-assign ngayon sa aviation group ng Clark International Airport. Sa investigasyon ng PNP, papasok sa trabaho ang biktima ng tambangan. Na-recover.
So they're just saying police staff sergeant on his way to work. Used to be a police, but then he got assigned to aviation security.
Sa crime scene ng mga basyo ng kalibre 45 at 9mm, iniwan ng mga gunmen ang ginamit na sasakyan sa Sitio Baloy sa Karatig Barangay Arangonen.
And then after that, the gunmen left the car at a nearby neighborhood.
Yung plate number po na gamit ng mga suspects ay hindi po tumutugma doon sa sasakyan.
And all they're saying over here is just the plate number that they got from the CCTV is not assigned to that car. It was so it's saying that these gunmen, these killers were not only did they get a stolen car, but they also switched the license plates just in case.
Ngayon is nakarehistro po sa isang Vios na ang nagmamay-ari naman po ay nakarehistro na taga San Fernando, Pampanga po.
Nanlumo naman ang alkalde ng Capas, lalo't kilala niya ang biktima na dati ring naging SK chairman sa Barangay Cristo Rey.
So this is deep Tagalog over here, but he's just saying we condemn this action against our police of Capas. This is what the mayor is saying.
At magiting na pulis ng bayan ng Capas.
Inaalam pa ng mga pulis ang motibo sa pagpatay. Magbibigay naman ng pabuya.
So here we go. They're trying to figure out what the motive here of why they did this. All right. So this is, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And you look at these guys over here. They definitely. It was from the way this thing was set up. It looked like not only was it professional, it was also personal. It reminds me of that scene from Sicario, where at the end, the first Sicario movie, where at the end he says, before he kills the drug lord, he says it was nothing personal, and And then the Benicio del Toro character says, "Oh, for me, it's very personal." So same thing with these guys. As you could see from the look on their faces, they're like, you can tell that like we're gonna make this happen. And what is the motive? Okay, and obviously the motive here is not money. Okay, because we know that the police are not holding that kind of money. If anything, the police are stealing money. We know that. I have firsthand knowledge, firsthand experience of that. That police, it's very common for police here to steal money. Okay, not only steal money, but their methods of doing it, of stealing money, is what also makes it personal. Okay, for them, it's just their job. They'll do it to anybody that has money. If you're a Pogo, if you're a Chinese national, or if you're just somebody that like me that has a credit card, they'll they'll steal it. No matter who, it's not personal. It's just their job to steal money. Next is how they do it, what their method is. That includes rape, torture, murder, for example, as the kidnap, ransom, murder, just like that Hanjin Korean businessman. So obviously, there's going to be plenty of motive there for these people to do it. If this person, then what is the other reason? Obviously, it's not because of money. So this is looks like retribution, payback, redemption for whatever it is that this police did in his past or in the near past, that these people are targeting him. And then, like I said, these people know what they're doing. They got a stolen car, switched the license plates, and they used automatic assault rifles to make sure that this person is not going to survive this. And the question is why? And that's where we speculate, since we don't know any reason why. It's not because of money, it's because of retribution, revenge. And from my own personal experience, I went through the same thing also when I was in prison. Why the police are doing this, why they lied, why they humiliated me, why they put me in prison, why I had to suffer in there, because they had to steal money. And they'll put an innocent person in there. Yes, I know people are going to be upset by that, but that's a simple fact. Not only one judge, not only two judges, but three judges say that I'm innocent. And me vlogging is living proof and testimonial of that. They'll put any innocent person through suffering so they could steal money. Well, if you do that, and that's your job, you're going to expect there's going to be people out there that are going to be, that are not going to let it go by. So this is what if you want justice, this is basically the justice that's only here in the Philippines. This is the culture here in the Philippines, is of course, when you're in prison, there's a lot of killers in there. There's a lot of murderers in there. The only downside is they're not very good killers, because if they were, they wouldn't be in prison. So the reason why they're there is because they're bad killers. But these ones over here, they're professionals. They're still out and about doing this, and they're taking, I don't know if it's a professional hit or a paid hit, but they're taking these jobs. And that's probably, I'll give you an example of John Donato Paris, the police chief that did this to me, that put me in prison and said all those lies about me, about rape and human trafficking, child rape and child trafficking. And maybe this is something that happened to him. Did I have anything to do with it? No. But the problem is that I'm not the only person. I'm just one person. Yeah. And then once the money that he stole from me is gone, he has to do it again to another person. But here in the Philippines, the people who have money, they also know how to use people. I mean, they need to know how to use people, so they can not only secure their money, not only can they get money, but also secure their money so things like this don't happen, so the police don't steal it. And if they do something like this, well, then this is how they're gonna make them pay. And that's probably what happened to John Paras. Is he did it to too many people, and eventually people are going to want payback or retribution for what he did, because that's what he does. He extorts and probably murders people for money. If he'll steal money, and he'll put me in prison for an innocent person for money. And there's no limit to what he'll do when it comes to money. Well, those kind of things, they have bad consequences. People that he's going to be targeting with money are going to have friends, and they're going to have friends who need money, and they will take the job or something like this, or maybe they'll do it themselves because that's the kind of industry that they're in. And you here in the Philippines, then what does this have to do with you? This is where you need to understand that this is the Philippines culture. When you've got the police that's supposed to be upholding justice are the real criminals over here, well, then this is what you have to resort to. I go, Bebo Tony, is this something that you have thought about when you're resorting to? Of course, when you're in prison, all you think about is revenge. Is this something, of course, that you'll entertain in your mind when you're sitting there in prison, doing nothing? These are the kind of things that motivate you, that you fantasize about. Especially after I found out that John Paris was AWOL, I wish I was there. I wish I could have seen the look on his face when he disappeared permanently. Where he is, what he is, what I mean, of course, there's part of me says, I wish he is alive. I wish he is in hiding. I wish he is suffering out there somewhere. And the fact that I'm enjoying, as you can see, I'm probably going to show you what I had for lunch. I'm enjoying food. I'm enjoying my family, and yes, I am enjoying friends and my own personal consumption. I didn't know that after all these years that my friends are still going to be looking for me. So I have a few friends that I see on a regular basis just for my own personal, because I mean, after being years in prison, I mean, you catch up with old friends, you catch up with your family, you make up for lost time, but you also do with your friends. I don't like to call them extracurricular activities because they're just that's what friends do. We give each other mutual benefits. So it's something that we enjoy, and we're not hurting anybody, then we are free to do so. And of course, if it's gonna upset a lot of people, then why don't you go enjoy yourself so you don't have to be upset? But back to what I was saying about here is this is the culture here in the Philippines. If you want justice, this is what you're gonna have to do. And I know people that do this. This is what they do. This is what happens here on a regular basis. Am I gonna get involved in it? No, because I was able, other than the money, I was able to get back pretty much everything that the police took away. I got back my family. I got back my name, I got back my reputation, I got back my freedom, and I got back to being able to communicate in vlogging. If the money is meant to be, the money will come back as long as the money is always, it's important, but like I said, I would rather use the money or the time to enjoy life, because living well is the best revenge. While the police have to always sleep with one eye open. And how can they do this? Because they just live in the now. Yeah, they could die in any moment, so they might as well enjoy. And this person, whatever he did, what he did in the past to give these people motive to do this, because this is pretty savage. This is not a something that was done on improvise or something that was opportunistic. This was carefully planned, and this was with intent. And I can just, without knowing, I could just, based on my own knowledge and based on my experience, being the victim of police corruption, police criminal activities, this is something definitely that I I can understand why the people would be motivated to do this, but I would have to say that there's plenty of the police are doing this. Plenty of police are doing this already, and they're doing this to a lot of people, and they're eventually that they all will get what they deserve. I'm not saying one way or another, but it is a known fact that corruption over here and police criminal activities is common. And this is one of the examples of what is the retribution or redemption. And it happens on a regular basis. If this is something that you're interested in doing, if the police did something like this to you and you want to get back at them, this is something that's pretty common and available. It's not hard to find killers like this, and if you want to deal with police that have wronged you, this is something that's readily available over here. And this is just the nature, the culture of the Philippines. I mean, what are you? How are you gonna get justice when the people who are supposed to uphold justice are the ones violating the laws? So anyway, so that's where do you come in when it comes to these kind of things? This is, I spent most of the first part of Bebots only enjoying and showing you what the benefits and the bright side or the good side about the Philippines, and now I seem to spend a lot of time informing you what the reality of the Philippines is like. And then you could say, oh, I'm not involved in those kind of things. You don't have to be involved. Just as long as you have money and the police need money, and once they find out that you have money, especially if you're a foreigner, it's going to keep increasing and increasing. There's going to be more and more police. They're going to need more and more money, and they're going to need more and more victims. And if you are here, and eventually, if you're here long enough, like I am, you're going to eventually be victimized by these police criminals. And that's why you have to be careful, and you have to be one step ahead. And this is just to show you an example of what the reality is here in the Philippines. If you live here long enough, especially if you're just an island over here, hiding in your hotel room, not doing any street vlogs, or hiding in your condominium. So we've got the streetwalker that can't walk in the streets anymore, that is hiding in his condominium, that is putting out false information that he's in the province when he's actually still hiding in his condominium. Well, if you're going to do that, then you can avoid this, and you could avoid police criminal activity. Then you're going to have to hide in here. But eventually, if you live here long enough, you're going to end up having to hide. Just like me. Anyway, let me know what you think, what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. This is Bev's Only. Thanks for watching.